Okay, I think it started. Okay. So another time we are here in our project Videoconversas, now with Kacper Parol. I don't know if the name is correct, but you are going to say it. He's a Polish guy and was the youngest candidate for the Sejm or something like that. That is the Polish parliament. So if you can do a little presentation about yourself.
Hello, I'm talking to a class, so hello everybody. My name is Kacper Parol. The vowels are pretty hard, I know. And I was the youngest candidate for parliament. I was a candidate for the left. We had previously three main parties for the left came together to start in the Polish elections. We've had 12% of votes, and I was one of the candidates that fought, I think, pretty well to gain as many votes as possible. And it was quite an adventure. I was a candidate from 11th place on the left list in my district, and I've gained 1,500 votes, which was a pretty big success for me. So I am very happy to talk with you about all the things maybe future young politicians must have or should have to be successful in your future and to be successful as a politicians, to be successful in your, to make a change, because we are here to make a change, to make our lives and lives of our friends, families, neighbors better, for the better.
So a little bit of context before. The only things we know about Poland we see in the TV or by social media. So if you can describe a little bit our scenario in a social way, in the political way.
So we've just had three major elections. We've had together elections for the Euro Parliament. We've had elections for the Parliament, which I took part, and we've had elections, presidential elections. Three of them, all of them, were won by a conservative party, Law and Justice, which in Polish is Prawo i Sprawiedliwość, ruled by Jarosław Kaczyński. And they are taking our country institution by institution. They have now almost full power in Poland, and this comes with some dangers, because the democracy in Poland is at stake, and the minorities are treated very badly. Lately, there was discussion about LGBT society, and it comes with fear. It comes with anger. Young people with rainbow tote bags or anything are harassed, are spit on the streets, are beaten even. 50 kilometers from me, there was already 2 beatings of young LGBT people. One of them was beaten only because of pink hair. So it's quite unimaginable, and it is a result. It is a result of brainless, I think, brainless political statements from our ruling party. Our president said that LGBT, they are not people, they are an ideology. They are comparing it to communism or fascism, and it's getting quite absurd. And we are here standing in front of danger of 3 years of such discrimination again. 3 years to next elections, and we are doing everything we can to help, to organize, to in associates or foundations to give people support they need when the government is not giving them such support or even is making a situation worse.
Your president, Duda, was elected in 2015. You are 24 years, right? So did you see those that hate some way or that wave of conservatism before 2015? Or it was just a normal country that went in a wrong way?
I think that in previous years, before Prawo i Sprawiedliwość, Law and Justice, before that, we were seen as a country that is that had a change from communism to democracy, and we are seen as a country that had a success. But had a success, a political and democratic success. And in the European Union, we are seen as a more stable and important country to cooperate with. After 2015, and after 2015, we went backwards. We went backwards with democracy. The first thing that the ruling party has done was taking our justice system one by one. They've made it under a pretext of excommunization, you know, because in the justice system there were so-called communists or ex-communists, and they have to be forced away to make our country a democracy again, which was a populist talk, and it shows dangers because I can see some similarities in Poland, in the United States, with where Trump's won the election, maybe in France when Le Pen was such a popular figure, with a Brexit, and it's a wave of populism and right-wing parties growing to power. And the Poland is unfortunately one of these countries where we can see the dangers of losing democracy, losing our justice system, losing private sector. It's people in Poland are scared, but it's hard to fight back when the government controls the public media, when they control when they control the narrative, when they control the narrative. It's not like in Belarus or Ukraine or Russia, but it's definitely going that way.
Okay, so Poland, you saw it as a successful democracy. You mentioned the membership in the European Union to sustain that. And so what happened is that in a democratic way, the Polish people choose to end with the democracy. Of course, not yet, but in a way too. And so that's the scenario where you, among a team, tried to do this candidature to the Parliament of Poland. So how was the process of forming the list? Well, you were the 11th, right? You already told it. But to motivate people in that context to be with you and fight for those causes, how was it?
Okay, so it's a quite fun story. I see my campaign as an adventure, I think. I didn't have any hopes to get into a parliament. I went to this election to make a change, to show that young people can do things reserved previously for the older people, for people who are in the parties for 20, 30 years. And I got into politics with a Spring party. It was a new party formed by Robert Biedroń, who were a first declared gay in the Polish parliament, and he formed this party with so many new faces. There were young activists. They were experts. There were new people that wanted to make a change with a Spring party and with other two parties formed a left coalition, because left is stronger together. And we showed in the past that when left is united in Poland, we can do big things, and we can even win the elections. And I was a representative of the Spring Party in my city, Gniezno. We have, just for the record, 41 districts in Poland when you choose your candidates. And I was in a 37 district, which is Gniezno, my city, and Konin. I've got number 11 on the list. I didn't ask for any numbers. You know that probably that the higher numbers you got, first, second, you have bigger chance. But I was sure that I won't be a representative. Yeah, that's I can see your picture, and it's reminding me of a very good time. But I know that I won't be in the parliament. I wanted to get as many votes as possible for the left, so I asked specifically, but I don't care about the number, because it's just a number. Give me number 11, and I can try best I can. And it worked. For the left party, I had the third highest number of votes in my district, which was definitely a big success for me. And we have also our representative from our district. It's Tadeusz Tomaszewski, which is a very how do I say it? Experienced representative that is almost like a colleague to me. That is giving me all the information, all the knowledge, and I can grow with such a figure very quickly. It's important in youth politics to have such a figure, to have someone who experienced all the sides of politics, all the problems you have to solve as a politician, and to have some guidance. But basically, when I knew that I will be a candidate, I didn't have any instruction how to make a successful campaign. I didn't have any tips how to even make my own poster. I had to figure it out everything on my own. So I asked my friends to just put my face on the party logotype on the party's poster, and it worked. As I saw later, it wasn't about maybe social media activities or marketing, but it was about being close to people. People aren't normally seeing politicians aren't normally seen in politicians on the streets in Poland. I wanted to change that, and I was on the streets every day with my campaign materials. I wanted to make a campaign about young people, which you see on this photo. We presented a green pact for Poland, which is kind of similar with the Green New Deal for Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Our government isn't very eco-friendly, so we've wanted to show young people that they can have the change they need if they vote well, if they will become active. And we've presented this Green Pact. It was quite a success, I think. I think the left is in Poland is a major a major force that is talking about ecology, and with the Fridays for Future and the strikes that are across our continent, across Europe, I think that young people are getting quite active in that area. We are seen as the generation of change, the generation of climate strikes, of Fridays for Future, and I think I was trying to get their voice to the louder audience, because when you are young, you are rightfully scared of being, for example, in the media, of being under pressure, and I've only with a support of so many people, I could, just get in front of a camera, just get my face on that poster, and just go to say, hey, we need to make a change, we need to do something with our country, something that will make our lives for the better. And that was quite a ride. For example, when I was doing a door-to-door campaign, when I knocked every door to show, hey, my name is Kacper Parol and I am running for the election. There was some great stories. For example, an old lady, very old lady, 94 years old, just opened the door, and I see, cross on the wall. I see that she is a very religious lady, and I didn't thought that I will have her support, because left is seen as a party, radicals, left, without a church in our country, and so on. And this lady opened just the door for me, invited me into her house, gave me a cookie, gave me a nice cup of tea, and we've just talked and talked. And she, although she said that she won't vote for me because she has her own candidate, but she was so supportive of me, and she said that she will pray even for me, for my success. And that's the stories I love. When the people show such a sympathy for you, it's quite an unimaginable experience. And I was really happy to do this, and I am trying to and I'm continuing to show people that politicians are not, some men in the uniforms far away in Warsaw, but they are men here, right on the spot, right on this place, trying to be an advocate for their problems, for their suggestions, their change.
Just to say that election was, if I'm not mistaken, in November, right?
In October, yes.
Yes, so we were knocking on the doors. When we were doing that, there was no COVID, just to say that. Um, well, you said that you had a team with young people and did a campaign also for young people.
Yes.
But when did you realize that firstly you can be the candidate, but also that you can have a role in politics? When did you realize that you maybe you like it?
So I think that I was interested in politics from, I don't know, even when I was 10 years old or 11 years old. So it's quite a long story. But it was always, an observative role. I was watching television, I was reading the press, I was trying to, um, you know, not many people are interested in politics, and there is a saying that if you want to get interested in politics, the politics will come for you, and make maybe changes that you won't appreciate. So it's important to have your head focused on these subjects, not to be an expert, but to just know what to expect from politicians, what are your rights, and so on. So I was interested in that way, and I always wanted to not be a politician, but maybe an activist of some sorts, just wanting to work for the people. And I saw Spring, the new party, as a movement, not really a political movement, a political party, but a people's movement that is with their own ideas, they are fighting for them. And that was something new for me. The politics wasn't stale anymore. There wasn't always there weren't always the same faces. And when I saw there is a chance for us to be heard, I've become quite invested in it, and I see uh, my my work, my experience, my ideas as as not, Kacper Parol is wants something for the for himself or something like that. I am not here to make a career out of this. I am here um, to make space for young people, to make those first steps that you maybe want to see, maybe want to see to get inspired. When I was a candidate, many people wrote me, young people, that because of me, they are going to election for the first time. They are trying to get interested in it. And that was the major thing for me. But the young people got invested, and they are trying to make the change of their own. For example, a young girl in a city 30 kilometers from me saw my poster, and she called me because she previously searched me on Facebook. She called me and asked me if she can help me in this campaign. Just help, maybe just put some posters in her city or something like that. And that was her first activity. And she is now a very successful feminist. She has her own Instagram where she constantly makes posts, very valuable posts about her life and how she sees feminism. She is I think a future political leader in her city, in our district in Poland, and that's what is keeping me going, what keeps me going. That young people are getting invested and they are going for it. It's not about me; it's about our generation. And somebody just had to make first steps, and they. I don't think they will stop us after this.
So what I'm going to ask you now is to, in a short way, try to tell us how does your system, political system works, just a part of the elections, and I'm going to tell you why. Just so you can emphasize the differences that we have. Now, here in Portugal, for the parliament elections, we have like some districts, big regions. So we have 20 of them in all Portugal, and islands included, and then um, each district elects a certain amount of MPs, but they are elected in a list with an order. What happens is that in each district they have a proportional method, which is the don't method, that they use to know how much mandates each party has. So here we vote in a political party, not in a person within a list. But there seems to be a little different. Can you tell us about that?
It's quite similar actually, but I will tell this on the example of my district. So there is also a don't method, and how to say it? They are 9 representatives out of our district. Every district has a different amount of them because maybe one district is a little smaller. Maybe one district is Warsaw, and there are so many people in it. And we had 9 representatives, and with the don't method, we know that it will calculate for example, one mandate for a left, and the person who gets the most votes out of our list will get this mandate. Yeah, so for example, when I was third on our list and we had one mandate, I didn't get into the parliament. But if they were 3 mandates, which is around, I don't know, 30% of votes, something like that, we would have 3 mandates and I would be a representative for the parliament. And it's the same everywhere. We have also elections on the same day to Senate. It's a higher chamber of the parliament, and we have 100 districts for Senate, and there's only one person with the majority of votes which will be a senator from this district. So it needs a political strategy to have a majority in Senate, so the opposition as a whole made a start united on these districts, and we didn't in our district in Gniezno, we didn't have a candidate for the left, but we had a candidate for democratic opposition. As we say, democratic opposition, because we don't see Law and Justice as a democratic party anymore. It's quite similar to what Viktor Orban is doing in Hungary. And of course, we have our president. He is the most popular person in Poland because we are voting for a person. We are voting for a person, and the person with a majority of votes gets to be a president. And it's a semi-presidential system where government, where Sejm and Senate, which is the parliament, is having political power, but the president has the power of veto and can say and can send back the directive to the parliament, and the parliament has to vote on this directive with even bigger majority, not 50%, but 66% of votes.
Okay, so I kind of liked it, but I have to explore it better, because so the order of the list doesn't matter after all, because what you have to put, well, matters just to see what is the number that you vote. The interesting part of it that we don't have is that you can vote in people for the parliament in some way, where here we just vote for the list. So that's the main difference. And you were in the 11th place of Luica, right? And you had 1,544 votes. You said it was a surprise some way, but what does that mean? It means, I don't know the percentage that you had in your own city, because the district is not just your city, but it means that young people are going to vote. Do you have some idea of the people who voted for you?
You know, I always hear the stories, even to this day, that somebody sees me on the streets and say, "Hey, I voted for you." that's a surprise always. But this number, 1,554 votes, means a promise to these voters, I think, and but. Even though I am not a representative, I will fight whatever it takes to represent them. These people entrusted me with their votes, and I want to make everything I can for them. I were third on our list when it comes to result, and this means that I can have the young politician to get so many votes, more than even some mayors of cities nearby, of some local representatives. It's more from veterans in politics. It was quite a surprise, and I think that this means that the young generation is going for it. Yeah.
And so since there you have an engagement with politics, so it wasn't just the election and that's it. You are doing some stuff. I don't know if you want to say it.
Yeah, surely. Right now, after the presidential elections, which didn't go well for us, for the left, we've had a quite massive opinions in the media from our voters that the left needs to be closer to people, and I respect that. I am doing in my district picnics. We are going to go where people want to be. They want to be out at the summer, in the summer. They want to be in the green areas. They want to be on the beaches. They want to be in the places they can happily spend their time. And I just started with this idea that even in the small cities in my district, even in these small cities, we will invite. That's a better word. We will invite a big politicians in Poland. Usually, politicians, these people see on TV, on press, on here on the radio, and we will invite them to the small cities to show that they are also represented by this person. This person from television is their advocate, and they can even talk with this person, make a photo, and I think it's very important, because when we are seen as a bubble in social media, we are only, so far away. When the politicians are so far away from voters, the other parties that are doing local work, that are volunteering, for example, to help citizens of their cities, they are growing, and the left has to work to change that, and that was my main idea. We'll have discussion panels on these picnics to inspire people, to show them that we care about them, to educate even, because there is so low people don't really have in Poland this sort of political and economical knowledge. It comes from badly designed education system. We don't talk in school about these things a lot, and it shows that people are very can be manipulated by populist statements. So we want to change that, just to go to people where they want to be, and show them, hey, left isn't some joke from the West, isn't some conspiracy against you. It's a power for the people and by the people, and we want to be for the people, and that we are just friendly for the people. It's not like when you see so much television, everything what is not when you see too much television, everything that is not your idea is presented like some kind of monster, and so on. We want to go to the people and show them that we are people you can count on. You can count on, and I think yeah, this is something we want to do in the September, and I have some ideas also for the future, which I won't tell, but I always think of these actions not as some kind of protests, but to make solidarity and unity the most important factors. When we talk about emotions, when we talk about values that are uniting us, this is the most important factor, and all my actions will be about that, about human solidarity, about values we share, not the values we disagree with.
You talked about the presidentials, and you talked about your candidate. So, as you said, you had a gay candidate. However, you had a big controversy about the LGBTs, as you already mentioned. It was seen as the ideology by the president, and so he ended the campaign, or better, he ended the elections with 2.22% of the votes. Do you think, well, you already explained it, what do you think that could go wrong, but do you think that the fact that he's gay, so his private life could have some effect in it, or do you think that it was also like a mass move of votes for the candidate Trzaskowski, so it was like an useful vote?
It's both factors, really. I think people I saw on the streets felt sympathy for our candidate, felt that he is someone who is really kind, who is close to people, who is very brave to in our homophobic country to start as a gay for president. But I think that people thought mostly of these elections in the category of being anti the ruling party, anti-peace, which is in our country, peace is Prawo i Sprawiedliwość, Law and Justice ruling party. And they wanted to have a candidate that has the most chances to fight back against Andrzej Duda, our president, and it didn't work out. It didn't work out in the end. It's yes, it's our candidate Robert Biedroń. He is a very charismatic, very kind guy. But as I said, people wanted to have a candidate that has chance. Has chance to fight back against Andrzej Duda, and the left, as I said earlier, had just 12% in the parliament elections, and there was no expectations out of the left to have a candidate that will fight back against Law and Justice, and whoever we choose, we would have chosen. If it were Robert Biedroń or some other candidate, it would always be the same. It would be the same because we have the first how to say it. Our elections splits into two parts. First part when all the candidates are taking part, and the second part where only two are fighting for being a president. And there were polls before the first part of the elections, and they showed that Rafał Trzaskowski, the candidate of Civic Society, which in Poland Platforma Obywatelska, has the most chances, and they voted for him, and it ended like it ended.
I remember those polls that said also that in the first beginning of the polling that Robert Biedroń will have something around 10% also. So I'm just trying to remember the polls. But well, just for curiosity, I now remember that there is an ONG, in English we have to change the word, it's a non-governmental organization, Freedom House, that rates the democracies around the world. Let me just share this here, just to make this point. So here is about Portugal. They had 96 of 100, and this is Poland, with the difference essentially in the civil liberties. So probably here we are talking about the justice system. Probably here we are talking about this message of hate. Okay, so you continue your work in politics. In this conversation, you mentioned this a lot, but directly, what would you say to the young people who want to get involved, and the young people in general that just need a little push to go vote?
Well, the most important is to organize. We have to find some, I think, safe spaces to practice how we can share our views, how we can take our part in the process of change. The Fridays for Future, for example, got many people invested in activism, and many young people have found friends have found friends in these organizations. And I think it's the same with politics. I think of my associates, of my colleagues as a family. We take care of each other. We support each other. We are making everything to make ourselves better and more productive when it comes to going outside. Because when we need to, as young people, we need to not only have knowledge, being interested in something, but we need to throw away this stereotype that the young people maybe shouldn't be heard, maybe shouldn't talk too much because there are more experienced politicians, more experienced people trying to say to us what is the reality. We have our own side of the reality. We have our own views. We have different experiences, and we cannot be ashamed of these experiences. We are the first generation that will directly feel the results of climate change, of climate crisis, and we have different problems to overcome, and our voice is crucial to not only understand these problems but to solve them. And I think it's not like you will be a politician from first day and they will ask you to the national TV. The process starts in your neighborhood. The process of change starts when you talk to a friend, to say to him, to ask him about his political views and try to change their political views. The progress starts when you go out to the family and disagree with their views. The progress starts when you organize something for your neighborhood, help poor people, help, for example, a local shelter, and I think that only with small steps we can make something big in our world. And it's gonna be adventure. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be there are gonna be a lot of people that will say to you, but you but you shouldn't do this, that you shouldn't do that you are maybe an idiot, maybe you should go back to school and learn something. There are gonna be a lot of people like that trying to stop you from making your change, but they are just people who I think are seeing through their own failures, and I think that they are people that eventually, when you will continue pushing, will stand by your side and say that this is someone I can count on, and that this is someone I can follow. So be a change you want to be, and try to just try to stop hearing those guys who are telling you that you don't matter, that your voice doesn't matter. Your voice matter because your voice will decide of your own future and the future of the next generations. And this is a very important lesson that I understood, I think, too late. And I think if anybody after this interview, I know I am not a professionalist when it comes to English. I know that I am not someone who has experience but I am not someone that has so much experience to share knowledge that you need to put down on your notebook and write, but I am someone who saw that there is motivation and there is something that connects us. We can really make something big, and we can do something that will change our neighborhoods, our districts, our country, or even Europe for the better. And I wish you that someday we'll meet in the European Parliament, for example, and talk about that we made a progress from now on, from August 2020 to into the future, and the progress will eventually become possible because of us. And I wish you that.
So it seems like a good final message. I don't know if you want to add something. My questions are run out of yes, I don't think I have any questions. So do you want to say something more?
I think I've already said everything I wanted to say to you, to the whole class. I just hope that the pandemic will end soon, and we can together travel to each other without any restrictions, but we will can in the future experience world, because the world has so many opportunities, and we just need to go get them. So I wish a quick end of the pandemic, and a really nice future ahead of you. I have my fingers crossed for you, and I think that maybe when some of you will become a politician, maybe even the youngest candidate in Portugal, maybe I will, maybe next generations, or maybe my colleagues will ask you out for the same interview in Poland.
Okay, so thank you. I'm just going to stop the recording.